Hello and welcome to a new video. This is the final video of the 13 Nights of Halloween, and I'm actually really excited that it's over. Today, we're pretty much wrapping up everything that we did this month, or for these last 2 weeks. We have gotten out 12 videos so far, not including this one. And I had an amazing time. We are going to be going into each video a little bit in more detail. So if you don't want any spoilers, maybe go watch those videos before you watch this one. First, I want to do a couple of shout outs, especially to Benson and Connor, who have helped me so much. Not only Benson with editing and helping me find music, and just being super super supportive through all of this, especially while I've been working and trying to read and edit and scramble to get this whole project done. Literally could not do anything that I do without them. I love them so much. Obviously they are my partner. I literally couldn't do anything without them. This whole channel would not even exist without them taking the time for me to show me how to edit, and it's just being the best and most supportive partner in the world. If you think you have the best partner in the world, I'm sorry to say you do not, because I in fact do. and Connor as well, because he obviously helped with a lot of the planning too. He gave us some recommendations and he created the whole Halloween horror game show, which was how we picked my November TBR. So if you haven't checked that one out already, please do so. Oh, and also being a constant supporter and motivating me to post a new video by sending me memes and wondering when the new video was going to come out all the time. So you can thank Connor for some of those late uploads. Oh, and also thanks to the cats, because they also picked books for me. All right, overall we have 12 videos that we're going to talk about here. All right, the first one we're going to talk about is probably super simple, just horror books that are on my TBR. Did I read any of those ones this month? We read one and we DNF'd another. So while we didn't get to a lot of them, it's okay, because we made a dent in some of them, and that was really just to showcase some of the books that I want to read, because horror is not typically my genre. I'm really picky about horror books in general, so even reading a couple of them and enjoying at least one, I was okay with it. And then we had the horror novella vlog. For that, we chose 5 books originally, and then realizing that one of them did not count as a novella, I thought we were only going to end up reading 4, but we did in fact read 5 because we found Rest Stop. It was the first one that we actually finished, which I was really impressed by. We read The Salt Grows Heavy, which actually ended up being a DNF, Tender is the Flesh, which we completed, Ballad of Black Tom, All These Sunken Souls, and Rest Stop. I enjoyed some of these more than I thought. And with me, novellas are super hard. I typically don't like short books, especially short horror books, because I always feel like it could be more fleshed out and more fun. Overall, I think the general consensus to this vlog is we were going to be trying more novellas, because I never want to count them out if they sound interesting enough. Now, with this one, it was one of the first things that I filmed. All of the books were super short, so it was not hard to get through and get it all edited and uploaded. So the experience for this one, there really isn't much to say, because it was such an easy thing to do. Horror recommendations from Connor. This one, of course, was super easy to film, upload, and edit, because I didn't really have to do anything other than the editing process. Connor's the one that came up with all of the videos, or all of the books. Connor is the one that came up and explained what they all were. I didn't have to do any research beforehand. This one was probably the easiest video of the bunch, because I didn't do anything. And we'll get into the results of that one later. The Spooky Sleepover was one that I wanted to do more for. It's one that I wanted to be a longer video. We were supposed to go out and go shopping. We were supposed to do some baking. We were supposed to sit down and watch a movie together, and then all while discussing a book. And that really didn't end up working out because of time restraints and just the timing of it, the weekend that I was able to do it. We couldn't really go anywhere, or I didn't really have time to go anywhere. So it didn't end up turning out exactly the way I wanted. This is probably the video that I'm most disappointed by, because I just wanted it to be so much more than it actually was, and it wasn't. Instead, what we really ended up doing is you hung out with me for a weekend. We did still kind of watch a movie. Like, I put on some B-roll of me watching a movie. I did bake a little bit, but it was more cooking dinner than actually sitting down and baking and having a snack. We didn't go out anywhere. So it was really just kind of a boring, not really well planned video. It's probably one of my least favorite videos that I've done on this channel, but I needed to put something up. So, and my favorite books to read in the fall, this one was a super simple, straightforward, just book recommendations for the fall. Fall reading is fall is some of my favorite time to do reading, because I feel like there are a select number of books that just have the perfect atmosphere for fall, even if they are not necessarily set in the fall. Like all of those books, I can just see myself getting cozied up in some comfy pajamas and putting on some nice fall ambiance and just being in the vibe of fall. The Junji Ito vlog is another one that was a little more on the disappointing side. I didn't read as many as I could have. I didn't even finish the timer like I should have. But it was, starting to get down to crunch time, and I just didn't have time to read. I also have not been in a super manga mood, which is severely disappointing, because I have so many manga that I could read. I have so many manga that I want to read. The Snow White with the red hair, most of these volumes are overdue from the library. Like, they should be going back now, but I don't want to completely give up on the series, because at this point, I'm not finishing the ABCs of manga by the end of the year. Like, this is gonna have to continue into 2026, which I didn't want it to. I might look into another S manga, because I don't want to DNF another letter. I don't want to completely give up on Snow White with the red hair either, but either way, that's not what you're here for. Junji Ito, 24 hours. We had 22 to read, and we ended up reading 13, which is not awful, but it's not the best we could have done either. A lot of them were rereads, which I did enjoy looking back and rereading a lot of favorites that I really, really loved, and finding new favorites. Like Deserter is now probably my favorite. Before it was Allie, but Deserter is now probably my favorite short story collection that Junji Ito's ever written. And then, of course, I think Gyo is like my favorite linear story, because that was one that probably scared me the most. Overall, Junji Ito is probably my favorite horror author of all time. But I did notice going back that some of the books that I gave 5 stars in the past, I ended up lowering the rating a little bit. Not that there was anything bad, so part of me is wondering if it was just the rereading experience, and like the fact that I kind of knew what was going to happen that kind of dulled my enjoyment a little bit, or if I'm a little more harsh of a reviewer now that I've read some more books and gotten into the habit of reviewing, or if it was just like the manga slump. Either way, I didn't love how this vlog turned out, but I am impressed with the amount that we read, even though we didn't finish the timer. The cider video. Okay, this one was fun. Any time that I get to collab with Benson and Connor, that it just makes for a super fun experience. It makes for a hell of an editing time. There's rarely a good time to edit out cuts, because it's almost consistent talking, whether we're talking over each other or we're talking continuously or just having a conversation. There is rarely a good time to cut out things, so it's kind of hard to figure out what we leave in and what we don't. Like, even if Benson's the one editing, usually they have a hard time, because we love the banter. We like to be funny and goofy and chill with each other, and we want to share those conversations with you, obviously, or we wouldn't be recording them for you. So it's a really interesting time when we all get, sorry, my door. The window is open and the door keeps slamming shut. And it doesn't lock, so I can't leave it shut. It just scared the shit out of me. It's also Halloween. There may be a ghost in my house. Just saying. It's possible. Whew. Anyway, the cider was such a fun time. We were trying to figure out different flavor combinations to do, and I think if we try any of these flavors again, because I am interested in trying white chocolate again, or butterscotch again, we would need to find a syrup. I think a syrup would work better than melting the candies, because it just didn't turn out the way we wanted it to, which like we kind of figured, but we couldn't find any syrup for like a reasonable price, and we're not going to use syrup for really anything else. Still, I loved it. It was a really fun time, and I think the only thing I probably would have changed is A, some of the flavors, B, I think I would have recommended like more than one book so that it was a little longer, and we had Benson recommend games, so that was also something that we, you know, could have prepared for. I mean, not that you can really prepare because we're tasting these on camera with you, like we haven't tasted these before sitting down, so it's all like a genuine reaction, so it's not like something we can prepare for, but I should have at least attempted to recommend more than one thing for each flavor. All right, I want to talk about probably my favorite video in the whole bunch. And they're going to toot their own horn when they hear this. But that was that Benson buys books. First of all, this is going to be the start of a new series. I do trust Benson somewhat with my reading picks. Sometimes they choose meme things, but sometimes it actually ends up being a really good reading experience, which we found out in this vlog. So, in this vlog, if you haven't watched it already, I sent Benson to the bookstore. And I gave him my card, and I said, okay, I need you to pick me 3 books. And they had a Halloween theme. So the first one was just to buy a horror book. Super nice and simple and easy. And for that one, they chose World War Mill, which isn't the one I read. We didn't realize that it was a sequel until we had left the store. So I ended up reading the first book in the series, Apocalypse Cow. That one was just as expected. It was about a 3-star, 3.5 star. It was fine. But and I will continue on with the sequel. Obviously, I own it, but pretty much just how I expected it to go. And then we had a book with a scary word in the title. And for that, they picked A Haunting on the Hill, which also got a 3-star. But again, that's just because I'm super picky with my horror thrillers. I wanted more scare. I wanted more from the characters. I just wanted more. And I don't think it fully hit my expectations. And then the last one was something with a scary setting. And that they ended up picking American Rapture, which was the one that got a 5 fucking star. I know they didn't put a ton of thought into these books because we were on a time limit, but sometimes picking from the cover absolutely works. I was so impressed with this choice. I wasn't sure how to feel about it at first. I was not sure which way it was going to go, but it was a great time. And then we had a choose your own adventure, which was supposed to work out differently. This was supposed to be like a vlog instead of a sit down video. And Benson was supposed to give me like 3 to 5 prompts. Ended up giving me 7 instead. And I don't think it was really planned. I think when Benson gets into that like DM mode, they end up going a little bit off the cuff and kind of just going with wherever the scene takes them. And that's something that I love about them, that creative brain. And it ended up leading to quite a few good prompts. Problem is I didn't have time to read for them because we filmed that one pretty late. And the idea was to get a lot of audiobooks and just read some really, really short books. I just didn't have time to do that and read everything else, because by the time that video was supposed to go up, I still had 8 other books to read. 8 plus 7, you do the math, it's 15. Did not have time to read 15 books in like 5 days. So we ended up just doing it a sit-down video as a part 1, and then in November we're gonna try to do an actual vlog of me telling you what books I chose and actually picking. So if that one feels unfinished, it's because it is. It is unfinished. I mean, I already told you this, like I did give a little, I did put in a little clip at the end just saying that exactly what I just told you. So it was fine, you know, it ended up working out, but a little ambitious, wouldn't you say? Would I do this again? Yeah, I think it's a great time. Hopefully I would do that with a little bit more time at the beginning, like preparing, so that I can actually read the books in the vlog. But it's fine, it's fine. My cats also chose some books for me, so they can't go to a bookstore and walk around and just like tell me that I should read these books for XYZ reason. What we ended up doing is I ended up picking 3 stacks of books for each, and they ended up choosing from those stacks. So each stack had a theme. One was wolves, witches, and demons, and they each had 3 books that they could choose from. Big C ended up picking the one that I want. I think he's the one that chose The Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, and then Max chose the one that I wanted, When the Wolf Comes Home, and then Binksy ended up choosing My Boss is the Devil, which is one, like, I didn't really care about anything in that stack at that particular moment, so it's fine, it all worked out. And the cats ended up getting the same rating as Benson for each. So they got 2 3-star, well, 1 3-star, 1 3.5 star, and a 5-star book, which is so funny. And I was talking to Benson about it, and they were like, yeah, the cats are on the same wavelength as me. We all share a brain cell. And it's so true. It's so true. So true. I had an overall really good time reading the books that they chose. Obviously, I chose them for them. So, like, it's fine, but they chose really well. The editing of this video does get another shout out from Benson, because they're the one that edited it. The only thing that I would have said is maybe I should have lengthened the clips of the cats picking the books, or they should have lengthened the videos of the cats picking the books, because there was a little bit more to the clips than what you saw. What you saw probably just looks like I sat them in front of one book and told them to pick that, and that's not what happened. My cats have a mind of their own. If they didn't want to choose it, they wouldn't have. And we have the horror game show. This gets all the shout outs from Connor and Benson. Connor's the one that came up. So originally it was going to be that Benson came up with the horror questions, and we did like a Kahoot quiz, but we couldn't get it to work. And then Connor was going to be the one versing me, but we realized that Connor's kind of the king of horror, and he would beat me no matter what. At least with Benson, I somewhat had a chance, but even then I didn't really have a chance because I lost, meaning Benson got to pick every single book on my November TBR. So they ended up picking 10 books for me. If you want to find out what they are, you have to go watch the video, because I'm not gonna spoil it for you, even though you can kind of see the stack right here, so you at least already know one book. Overall, it was a fun video. I learned a lot of things that I did not know about. However, I do think the game was rigged, because Benson is more of a video game and horror nerd than I am, so I think it's kind of bullshit. And Benson should not have won, but I think Connor let them win. So, it's rigged, and Connor and Benson are in cahoots with each other. Alright, and then lastly, let's talk about the one we've all been waiting for. The Connor picks. I purposely saved this one for the second to last video to build the suspense, especially for Connor, because it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. For this one, Connor chose 5 books. Those books were Bite, The Ring, Hellbound Heart, The Ghostbusters, and Marvel Zombies. I, of course, read Marvel Zombies first. And I had a whole schedule planned for this. That schedule, of course, did not end up working out. But I finished Marvel Zombies first. Gave that a 4-star. And then I DNF'd Bite, unfortunately. Wasn't anything wrong with it, just DNF'd it. And then, what did I read? I found an audiobook for The Ghostbusters, which is a fun experience. Gave that one a 4-star. And then it gave The Hellbound Heart 3.5. And then I didn't finish The Ring. I just didn't have time. Overall, it was a fun experience. Can we trust Connor with recommendations? Yes, obviously. No matter what, even if I hated every single book that Connor chose, like, we're still gonna trust Connor with the recommendations. Even if I DNF'd every single one, we were always going to trust Connor. I'm sorry that I clickbaited you, but also I'm not, because did you watch the video? You should go watch the video. It's a great time. I'm happy we did it. Now, this overall experience was chaotic. Yeah, the overall experience was chaotic. There were a lot of late nights. Sometimes I didn't end up going to bed until after midnight when I had work at 7 a.m. the next day. It was crazy, and I was still trying to read past a certain time where I could barely keep my eyes open. I ended up relying a lot on audiobooks, which I love audiobooks in general. But for something like this, like, I didn't have a lot of time to sit down and read physically, which is really, really sad because I miss just sitting down, getting cozy, and reading a book. And I think you can say that for BookTube in general, is that it has kind of a pressure to finish a certain amount or like read a certain way. And like, obviously nobody's pressuring you other than yourself, like, because when you're watching all of these videos, you have these certain expectations on how a BookTube video is supposed to go. And when you don't meet that, it's a little disappointing. At least that's how I feel. Overall, though, I have to remind myself in general that this is just a hobby. This unfortunately does not pay the bills. I have two jobs that keep me really, really busy and honestly exhaust me. Like, a lot of people think working with kids or working in a school isn't that bad or blah, blah, blah. And like, I work with a preschool, so I always get like comments of, oh wow, like you must have such easy days, like blah, blah, blah. And like, they're really not easy. Most of the time I end up going home physically exhausted as well as just mentally exhausted because it's just a lot. And then I go to another job where is like, that's really where more of my physical part comes in. It's just even more exhausting. And it's also, that job is also mentally exhausting because just having people yell at you all the day and then coming in and things aren't the way that, like, things aren't working out the way that they are supposed to because other people aren't doing their jobs correctly. I'm sure I'm not talking, or I'm not saying anything new to the people that are watching this. It's all exhausting. So reading is supposed to be just like my quiet, comfy time, and getting to hang out and share it with you. It's just an added bonus that I love to do. So to take on this project and to make it a little more stressful on myself, am I upset about that? Like, do I regret doing it? No. Which is really surprising because I thought I did. I did not think that I was even going to make it the full 13 days. I thought for sure we were going to miss one upload, and we didn't. So I'm honestly really, really proud of myself. Would I do this again? I'm already thinking about doing like a 12 nights of Christmas for Christmas. So maybe. Honestly, next time though, I think I will definitely have to just plan it out more and maybe make some more sit down videos and just make it, just make it a little easier on myself. Do I think I'm gonna do the Christmas one? I don't know, because I do have a lot to read in November for different videos. We now have the Choose Your Own Adventure that I have to read for. I have to get back to Read It or Delete It because I did not film one in October. And we obviously have Benson's TBR that I have to read through. So we do have a lot to read in November. We also have to start getting through my currently reading. So, will we do it? I don't know. But I'm excited to see. Will I ever do the 13 Nights of Halloween again? Also, maybe. I did have a lot of fun with these vlogs, and even on days that I should have felt stressed out and too tired to edit or get it up, I didn't, because I was so determined to just get these videos up for you and actually keep my promise of content, because I haven't been the best at that. Overall though, I did love this experience. I loved collaborating with the people that I collaborated with, and I had a really good time reading these books and finding new things that I probably wouldn't have picked up otherwise. With that being said though, this is the end of the 13 Nights of Halloween. I had to get this edited and uploaded for you. Let me know what you thought of the overall vibe of the videos. Let me know if you enjoyed it, if there's any that you would change, or if you have any suggestions for me for videos that I could do of this next year, or if you have any suggestions for ones that I could do for Christmas, if I decide to do the one for Christmas. Let me know some books that you read this Halloween season, or what you decided to be for Halloween. We didn't dress up this year, which I'm really sad about. We just didn't have anything to do. We don't host parties because obviously we share the house with Benson's parents, and it wouldn't be fair to them to bring all these people into their home, and we also don't have parking for that, so we didn't have a Halloween party. So I didn't end up getting a costume. And my sister had a Halloween party, but it was like a pajama party, so that didn't end up, I didn't end up needing a costume for that. And none of our friends had Halloween parties, so we just didn't get a costume this year, because the only time we would have needed to use it is for trick-or-treating and passing out candy, and that just didn't seem like a good enough reason to spend $60 on a costume. So I need to know what you guys were, so that I can live vicariously through you. If you don't have anything to add to the conversation, then just leave me a pumpkin emoji in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more from me, as well as Benson and Connor, who are frequent members on this channel, and the cats. I'll leave all of their links down in the description box below, as well as links to my social media if you want to get any more updates from me. But until then, goodbye. I love you.